Mike, are you going to come in? Go on, let Mike go on. Lembit will leave.
Okay.
He's going to come back again. Mike, I can't do it.
I'm just the warm-up.
Yeah, he's just the warm-up guy. Mike, we can't do without you. After all, you single-handedly bring in tens of thousands. I bring in dozens, and Lembit brought in himself.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Dave, I'll sue you for that.
Typical former Lib Dem. Are you still a Lib Dem? Are you still?
You got it. Yeah,
I
but
said
he
former
has
Lib
seen
Dem.
the light.
He has.
So what?
Morning.
What morning, man? What has aggravated you this morning?
Well,
I'm sure
I've decided that this government is now worse than a bunch of children, because I said to Pooch this morning, watching Lucy Powell yesterday, denying that she was a hypocrite, because of course she denies it, because she is one. And Steve Reid.
Explain why she might be a hypocrite.
Well, she's a hypocrite because she doesn't think anybody wants to have a general election.
Yeah.
And every single person, to a man and woman and non-binary individual in the cabinet.
Now that is a very good point. Now, can I just put? We now refer to non-binaries. Now, I like this. And what about neurodivergence?
Neurodivergent priests. That's what you need more of, isn't it?
Yeah. Neurodivergence. We want to say we are the home for neurodivergence.
Do you know what I said to Pooch? What made me laugh this morning was that apparently some of these neurodivergent vicars, right, have got Tourette's. So I thought, wouldn't it be great? You go into your local church looking for a bit of salvation, right, on a Sunday morning, and you get the old vicar gets up there, he starts effing and blinding. How don't you?
Look at you.
I mean, brilliant.
Now, that is a very good idea.
This could be the rebirth of the Church of England for me, because I'd go to that.
What do you mean if they
vicar?
If they started using they started using F's and C's from the pulpit?
Yeah, the swearing vicar.
So the throwing of the bolts.
Right, that could happen.
That would be a bloody good idea. The thing I like doing in the old days, which I like to bring back now, but with rather more thump to it, is when people used to fall asleep during the sermons. There was a long metal rod with a weight on the end, and they banged you on the head to wake you up. Yeah. But now you're going to have a vicar.
Yeah. A vicar that swears, I think, it's the way forward. But because some of them, there was one guy in the Times quoted as saying that, when he was so nervous doing his vicaring, whatever it is, he would come home and literally lie on the floor to feel grounded.
All I remember reading about that was there was some headline which indicated that there were a lot of the meek vicars mustn't be humiliated by the strong vicars.
Yeah. And this guy who likes to lie on the floor when he's finished his work said that he felt the pressure of trying to be typical.
Why? What was he neurodivergent?
Yeah, he's neurodivergent, he's very anxious, apparently. I mean, look, I understand people get anxious. Well, they don't do a job that anxiety is a problem for.
In which you've got to meet people.
Yeah. I mean,
I tell you what, in that case, why doesn't he become a broadcaster on UK Live? He'd never meet anybody.
That's exactly right, yeah.
Actually, he'd never... Nobody would watch him, never meet anybody. It'd be the perfect job, and going skint.
Although I can tell you something interesting, right, about our audience. I got a message overnight from my sister who lives in Connecticut.
Oh, yes.
And she was in a bar in a very rural part of sort of what you might call the eastern sort of seaboard, up from a place called Guilford, Connecticut, near New Haven.
Yeah, we're right.
Has had a burger. She starts talking to the guy behind the bar. He says, he's recognising she has an English accent. He's like, what's going on with Britain? It's really terrible. Full of Muslims. People can't do
neurodivergent.
The economy's crap. It's gone all left wing socialist. What's going on? And she says, well, how do you know about all that? He says, well, I watched this guy. Amazing guy on YouTube who apparently used to live in New York and, tells me all about how terrible it is in Britain. And she went, that's my brother. I mean, this is unbelievable. So,
don't tell me, he said, I'm sick of liars coming into my bar, and she got thrown out.
Actually, no. Great thing about America, of course, is they still recognise, as you've said many times, entrepreneurs, they recognise the fact that if you work hard, you get rewarded. Yeah. If you sit in a bar for long enough, you get a free drink.
Yeah.
But they've got it down pat, right? Because they'll give you every third drink, you get a free one, right? So you have the first one. This used to happen to me in New York. You go in, you have the first drink, and you go, it's fine, have the second. You have the second one, yeah, right. And then you go, I better not have a third, I better go home. And then they go, yeah, but if you have the third one, you get the fourth one for free. So you go, okay. So then you've had four, and then you're on this kind of hamster wheel.
Do you know you wouldn't be allowed to do that in the UK?
No.
If the publican began serving you a free drink, which was then viewed as a marketing exercise
Yeah.
to get you more pits, right? Somebody would come along and sue you.
Yeah.
Or there'd be an idiot. It'd probably be like that idiot Lucy Powell. By the way, Lucy, if you're watching this, right, if you're watching this, can I just say to you, right, I am massively looking forward to you and the creeps running the current Labour administration of this country right into the ground. I'm massively looking forward to you trying to curb my enthusiasm to pour buckets of shite on socialism. That's what you want to do. Go on, admit it. You've got that idiot Lisa Nandy now saying that they, in some kind of odd way, they want to control me or a Mike Graham, but also, more importantly, right in the middle of all this, suddenly a voice will come up. Hi, I'm from the BBC. We have some important news to bring you. And then they'll announce that there's been a minor earthquake in Somalia, in which nobody cares. I mean, I feel sorry for the people of Venezuela. Yeah. But is this a big story?
Well, not for me, it's not.
No.
You know, I said this the other day, you know, I'm terribly sorry it's happened to them, but there's not much we can do about it. Yeah. You know, and there's no point in all this kind of, you know, chest beating that they do at the BBC and all, isn't this terrible? And they lead off the news with it all. You know, I'm a bit more concerned about the people in this country who are homeless, a bit more concerned about the people in this country who can't get a job.
Can I ask about that? Do you know, I feel, I know this is probably part of my neurodivergency. On the spectrum, they've had to invent a new wardrobe in the spectrum in order to carry my skeletons. But I actually don't worry about the homeless.
Don't you?
I don't like seeing them about. And I'd like to, I'm sure they've got bad stories to tell. But actually, I think it's disgraceful that they're allowed just to lie on the floor begging for money.
Yeah. Well, it's worse than that. I'll tell you another story. Unfortunately, you know.
Well, I'm not going to start worrying about the homeless.
Listen, I think the thing about Kelvin, he's refreshingly honest. Yeah. Unlike all politicians who tell lies for a living, right, and have been gaslighters. And I said this, if you had a relationship with one of these, if Lucy Powell told as many lies to her husband as she does to the public, he'd be getting rid of it. You know, what are you doing over there? Don't worry, I've got a 10-year plan. You know, well, who's that guy? You know, well, never mind. You know, he's just helping me with a couple of inquiries. You know, well, you know, why were you kissing him? Well, because, you know, listen, this is the new way that we have to do things.
Can I be honest with you? That story doesn't make sense.
True.
Nobody would kiss Lucy Powell.
Not unless you had a guard on you to protect yourself from the teeth.
Anyway, the 10-year plan, as it's now being renamed, having heard it, is the 10-minute plan.
Yeah.
Right? He's not going to last 10 seconds. Now, look, I'm very sorry, Mike, but because of the fact that you chose to go to the loo rather than come and take the connection.
I was also delayed slightly by Andy Preston, who's a great guy, but you should get him on.
Okay.
Who's the former mayor of Middlesbrough.
Oh, right.
Independent mayor of Middlesbrough. Knows a lot about being a mayor, but he's also very sensible.
Okay,
so he's
fine.
a good guy to have.
Andy Preston, put him down on the list. Well, thank you very much, Mike, and thanks very much for the fact that it's Neurodiversity Week on UK Live, and actually, do you know what? You'd be wrong to laugh at that thought process, because I saw the numbers today that the amount of kids having effectively autism tests has increased 50%. So we need that audience. So you know, we are pro neurodivergency.